In today's video, we're going to be talking about who you should be rerolling on in Anime Vanguards Update 8. There's a plethora of great units in this game. Today, we're going to be discovering and talking about which of them should you be rerolling on and spending your hard-earned rerolls on. Without further ado, let's get started. By the way, guys, just want to remind you that our goal is to eventually get to 100k subscribers. If you want to be part of the OG sub of AV Plays and help me get to 100k subs, then please don't forget to like and subscribe right now. And without further ado, let's get started. So this is my tier list that I made right here, composing of the top tier units. We have Kaguya, Song Jinwoo, Escanor Pride, the Falcon, the Struggler, the King, Monkey King, Yuhaba, and Aizen. In my opinion, these are some of the best units to reroll on, but we're going to be dissecting which exactly from these units are the best to spend your rerolls on. And yeah, that's basically, these are the options we have right here. Anybody in my opinion below top tier, especially in update 8, does not deserve your rerolls because they might get power creeped in the next update. So the best way to do this is to just spend your rerolls on the best and most powerful units to kind of make it more worth your time. So without further ado, at number one, this is going to be a category and it's not just going to be one unit. At number one, and this is the highest priority unit, it's going to be the Vanguard units, specifically the recent Vanguard units, which is Kaguya and Escanor. Both of these characters are some of the best characters in the game. Song Jinwoo is still pretty good with Monarch in my opinion, but Kaguya and Escanor is just really useful with Monarch. Like for example, Escanor Monarch can solo rifts. The recent rifts, Escanor Monarch can solo that. Escanor Monarch can also solo the Sid Raid, which has the most powerful familiar in the game. Escanor Monarch can solo pretty much every single stage in the game that doesn't have shields. And Kaguya Monarch can just do pretty much everything as well. She can teleport, she can buff, she has a nuke. She's a really great unit overall. She also has support capabilities. And both of them are really great with Monarch because they're one placements. And they're Vanguards, they're really powerful. And it's very likely that these two units will be staying at the top for a very long time. So yeah, Kaguya and Escanor are the most important units in the game. And then at number 2, I'm going to be saying Yuhaba. Now, Yuhaba is a very powerful character. And before you say, oh, Yuhaba is not overpowered anymore, he still is overpowered. And I think the reason why a lot of people don't think Yuhaba is overpowered and the reason why I don't have him very high in my tier list is because Yuhaba right now is mainly used in competitive game modes, right? Competitive game modes such as tournaments, leaderboards, I believe he's used in those game modes. But realistically, Yuhaba is the best unit in the game because he's one of the cheapest full AoE. He's actually the cheapest full AoE unit in the game. He's very cheap. He has insane amounts of damage because he has a passive that does 2 times damage. He has an ability that just multiplies his damage really well. So if you are the person that wants to do leaderboards or competitive game modes, then Yuhaba is an investment that you need to make. But now, let's go talk about Update 8 units because I feel like this is the one where you guys are really curious about, because even though Kaguya and Escanor are really overpowered, they're several updates old, right? Kaguya was released in 6.5, Escanor was released in 7.5, so they're not exactly new anymore. And I believe that most people want to reroll on the newest units, right? So I think you guys are clicking on this video to see which of these units from the Berserk update are the most best to reroll in. And okay, this is where we're going to be dividing them into different basically top 1, top 2, top 3. And there's only really 3 units in this update from the Berserk update that really deserves to get your rerolls. And that's basically going to be Griffith, Guts, and then the King. In my opinion, it's going to be at number 3, the King. Now at number 3, the King is very powerful. I actually just recently spent a ton of rerolls on this character trying to get Monarch on him. There will be a video that I'm going to be making on the King because from what I've seen, this character can actually deal insane amounts of damage. So let me explain why the King is really good by demonstrating his damage. This is his base damage right here. You know why I glazed Yuhaba so much and why everybody glazes Yuhaba so much? It's because Yuhaba is a very cheap full AoE unit. So Yuhaba is extremely cheap as a full AoE unit, and Skull Knight is actually pretty cheap as well, only costing 77,000 to max him out. And at max, this is his damage with Monarch. No familiars, by the way. With familiars, it's gonna be higher. Then now let's actually take a look into something else. If I select enemies right here and spam a bunch of Yomos, and basically what this is gonna do right here is I'm gonna show you how you can utilize one of his passives. Right here, as he attacks that Yomo character, take a look at his damage right here. It has increased into this one right here now from 50,000 DPS to now 89,000 DPS, and this is essentially because his first passive is debuffs instead buff this unit. And then if you have a modifier like Drowsy, which will make your units attack slower, use that a bunch of times and it actually makes him attack much faster instead of making him attack slower. If I place Gojo down, Gojo is attacking a lot slower, so if I spam more Drowsy, Gojo's gonna be attacking much slower, while Skull Knight is gonna be attacking much faster. But that's not only it, in my opinion, because Skull Knight, on top of being able to do this much damage, can also cleanse your unit. So if I place Gojo here, because there is a debuff right now, which is some Drowsy, Skull Knight teleports to Gojo and then cleanses him. Now, he can't really cleanse card modifiers, but if it was Energy Drain, for example, he can cleanse Gojo of Energy Drain, and he can cleanse Gojo of the ranged debuff from the Attack on Titan Giants as well, which is incredibly powerful, and this is without any buffs. Like, if I place down a Smith buff, he would be even more powerful. Now, at number 2, we have the Struggler, which is Guts. Now, the thing with Guts is he has one of the highest, if not the highest damage in the game. If you have the Berserker armor on and him at max upgrade, he will be doing the most amount of damage in the game. And on top of that, he also has Bleed. He can attack while stunned. And the reason why I'm recommending people to get Monarch on him over the King is because Guts just does so much damage if you have Monarch on him. And because he's so expensive, if you don't have Monarch on him, you really won't be able to make that much use of how good he is. That's why I'm telling people to get Monarch on him, because without Monarch, he is so expensive that you might not be able to really utilize him that much. He costs 136,600 to max out. So yeah, without Monarch, that's gonna be really rough to upgrade to max in normal game modes. Now, if I turn on the Berserker armor, as you guys can see right here, his damage is gonna be even higher. 400, bro, look at that right there. The earlier one is tripping, so I'm just gonna do this right here. His DPS is not 400,000. So this is his actual numbers. The numbers that were shown earlier is not legit. That was because of the Drowsy modifier. His actual DPS is not gonna be 400,000. It's going to be around 300,000. Sorry, about 100 to 200,000, something like that. A little bit higher than Escanor, I believe, or maybe around the same level as Escanor, but he is full AoE, and this does last for a lot longer than Escanor's. So yeah, that is pretty broken right here, as you guys can see. So this is why he needs to have Monarch, because if you don't have Monarch on him and you just have, like, say, Ethereal, you won't be able to make that much use of this because it's too expensive to actually max out. That's why Monarch is a must for Guts. Now, what we are going to talk about is the number 1 in this update, which is going to be Griffith. Now, I'm going to be placing Griffith right here, right now. Some people might say Guts is better than Griffith, but no, you guys have to understand that Griffith is basically 1,000 to max out. Let's just place one Griffith right here. Then let's use the Eye Sacrifice. We're going to be placing down a Skull Knight right here in the back, just so that we can prevent any leakers. And this is why Skull Knight and Griffith is such great pairing. I will be making a video on all of this, so yeah. Now, basically, the reason why you really want Monarch on this character is because he is 1,000 yen to max out, right? 1,000 yen to max out means he is the cheapest DPS unit in the game. You can get him to really high DPS while only spending 1,000. There is a little bit of a drawback here because you need to activate Eye Eclipse twice in order to max him out. In order to max him out for free, but it is incredibly powerful. And if you just use someone like Skull Knight to defend your base while Griffith is being built up, it's really good. That's basically the strategy I'm using right now. I'm using Griffith to build up the Eye Eclipse or the Eye Sacrifice, and then while Griffith is being built up, Skull Knight's defending the back. And not only does he upgrade himself to max for free, he also has one of the best buffs in the game. So you can get a 40% buff from Griffith in his light mode or in his final form. And then he also has slow plus repulse. So as you guys can see right here, he can slow and repulse enemies. So let me just move my Skull Knight here and actually just do that, because you will see that my Skull Knight actually has a 4 not yet, because he's not in his final form yet. I'm gonna activate his final form right now, and you guys will see what I'm talking about right here. By the way, not a single upgrade put on the Falcon yet. You guys will see later that he's actually gonna upgrade himself to max and basically give him a bunch of new passives right here, which includes a passive that actually buffs units in his allies in his range by 40%, which in my opinion is the best support in the game, or the best damage buff in the game. So Griffith, basically, once you get Monarch on him, because he's also one placement, so literally the most important trait on him is Monarch, because Ethereal won't be used with Griffith because he's just one placement. And once you do get Monarch on him, he's not only going to be one of the best units in the game because of how cheap he is to get to max, he's also going to be one of the best supports in the game. He's also going to have insane slow and repulse. Now he's upgraded to max for free, and he also does buff Skull Knight right there, as you guys can see. He'll also buff Guts, as you guys can see right here. You can also buff Gojo if I place Gojo down right here. And yeah, those are pretty much the 3 options in Update 8. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please don't forget to like and subscribe. That's gonna be it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everybody.